JR here again with another video. Now in this video we're going to be talking about how to rename your ROMs. Now you'd say, why would you want to rename your ROMs? Now one of the questions I've been asked is, why won't my ROMs get picked up by scrapers, or my front end won't scrape the box art for it? The reason is that your ROMs may not be named the right name. So in this video we're going to show you how to rename your ROMs to the correct naming convention so that you can get them scraped by either Dig or Arc browser. The first step we're going to be taking is to download the application called Romulus. Now to download Romulus we need to go to the Romulus website, which is romulus.cc. I will add links into the description. Once you're on the Romulus website, you will then need to hit the download button at the top left of the screen. Once you've hit the download button, then you should see another link which will say download Romulus. Click on that link and then the program should start to download. Now once you've downloaded the Romulus software, you can then close that website, and once you've closed the website you'll then need to extract the zip file. I've already done this and I've extracted it to a folder called Romulus on my desktop. Now to open Romulus, what you're going to need to do is open up the folder called Romulus on your desktop and double click on the file called romulus.exe. This will open up the Romulus application. Now that we've opened Romulus, you'll notice that there's no systems inside Romulus yet. What you would need to do is head over to a website called Dat-O-Matic. This is going to be the website where we download the info so that we can then start renaming our ROMs. In order to download the system data, you now need to go to a website called datomatic.no-intro.org in your web browser. Next you're going to want to click on the button that says download on the screen. Once you've done that, at the top left corner of the screen, click on the drop down menu and select the system you want to scrape for. In my case, I'm going to be getting the data for Sega, Mega Drive and Sega Genesis. Now that you've selected the system you want to get the data for, you now need to click on the option that says Standard DAT. Once you've clicked on Standard DAT, I would leave all the default settings as you see them. Don't change anything unless you really want to get certain games. Now you need to hit the option that says Prepare. Once you've hit Prepare, it'll give you a button that says Download. What you need to now do is hit download and save the file to your desktop. Now you've downloaded the DAT file for your system of choice, you now need to extract that file. In my case, I'm going to right click on the Sega Mega Drive -Genesis file and select Extract. Now that we've extracted the DAT file for our game system of choice, we now need to open up the folder that we've just extracted. In my case, I'll be opening up Sega Mega Drive -Genesis, and under that folder you should now be able to see that you have a file that should be ending in .dat. Now that we've downloaded the appropriate files so that Romulus can start renaming our games, what you're going to need to do is open up Romulus again. Once you've opened up Romulus, you'll need to find the grey area and right click on that like I do in the video, and then select Add Dat. Once you select add dat, you'll then need to locate where the file is stored. Mine is stored on my desktop, so I'll be selecting desktop, then selecting Sega Mega Drive -Genesis folder, and under that folder I will then select my DAT file. Now it should tell you that you successfully imported the DAT file. Click OK. Then what you're going to be faced with is the game system that you imported. What you're going to want to do now is double click on that game system. In my case it's going to be Sega Mega Drive Sega Genesis. Now you should see a list of games. Now this won't pick up any of your ROMs yet. What we need to do to get it to find the ROMs is at the top left of the screen, click on the little magnifying glass option that's called Scan. Now the first thing we're going to need to do is select our folder where our ROMs are going to be stored. What we need to do is, next to where it says directories, on the right you should see a little folder icon. If you hold the mouse over it, it will say select directory. Click on that. Once you clicked on that, select your ROM folder location where your ROMs are stored. Mine is on desktop, under ROMs, and under Mega Drive. Then just click OK. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be also creating a backup folder. This backup folder is going to be where your ROMs that need to either be fixed or haven't been able to be renamed will be put so that you don't lose them. It does this because some of the games that haven't been renamed or need to be fixed, this is useful so that you don't lose any of your games, and it has the games that haven't been renamed inside that folder. Now that you've selected all the appropriate folders, what you're going to then need to do is click on Start. This will go through and check all your ROMs, and you may get a pop-up that says your files need to be fixed, and it's going to move them to the backup folder. What you need to do is hit Yes to all, and then that will go through all your ROMs and scan them, as you can see happening now. Once it's finished scanning them, then you will have all your ROMs renamed. Now the process of renaming your games is complete. What you need to do is hit the close button, and what you'll see is, yes, you will still see a bunch of red folders, which means the games are missing, but since you've selected only a handful of games that you'd like to rename, you see the ones with the green folder next to it. They're the ones that have been renamed. Now this means that they're all renamed with the appropriate naming, which was inside that DAT file. Now that you've finished renaming your ROM files, what you can do is you can close out of Romulus and go into your backup folder. Now mine was set to desktop, ROMs, and backup. And what I'm going to be doing is copying all of the files in that folder into my Sega Mega Drive ROMs folder again, because I want all the games to be in that folder. Now just remember that these games were ones that weren't renamed properly through Romulus. In saying that, these are the type of games that wouldn't actually be able to get any game art if they're not named correctly. This doesn't mean that they won't get game art scanned for them. Some games may, but this is just a good way to keep your ROMs clean and make sure that you aren't really missing too many of certain systems. And it's a good way to check that you've got a whole